It's a little bit of a different video today.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
We're doing tier ranking, which you guys have seen a lot on our page. We really enjoy making these videos. It's good conversations. We have to come together and bring our, individual tiers and create a collective tier, which is always difficult because we see things differently.
right.
But here today, we are ranking futuristic offenses. Okay.
hmm
Essentially, what we're focusing in on here is not offenses that are already established. We're not looking at offenses that have vets that are in Super Bowl windows. We're thinking about in the next 2 to 5 years,
Yeah.
who are some of the best offenses? And maybe these are offenses that you want to invest in Dynasty Football, or maybe this is just a fun video to make to talk about
Or
futuristic
maybe.
offenses. um,
That's funny.
so again, we're focusing on untapped potential that's there, young talent that can become elite, and older teams will be penalized in this format.
hmm
But yeah, again, thinking about potential of the quarterback room, running back room, wide receiver room, tight ends, all the youth of each of these teams, and what teams could essentially be taking the next step into dynasty or stardom, or maybe teams that could be going into a dark age
Yeah.
potentially. So
hmm
let's look at this. We're actually going to go team by team.
Team
I
by
think that's
team.
going to be more interesting than
Yeah.
just going tier by tier. So let's start off with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, I only have one person in my S tier, by the way. I only have one team in my S
One
tier. I just
tier.
wanted to throw that out.
Okay. I'm
One,
interested to
I
see.
only felt one team. You said same?
No, I said I'm interested to see.
Okay, okay.
hmm
Okay, so anyway, here we are at the eight with the Rams, and I actually personally have them in the A tier.
hmm
Now, I understand that Matthew Stafford is 33 years old. Cooper Kupp is a little bit older. So I could actually be convinced of moving this team down to the B tier. Because if we're talking in the next 3 to 5 years, what is Cooper Kupp really going to be at that point? What is Allen Robinson
Right.
going to be at that point?
hmm
Will Cam Akers recover from the injury? How old will Stafford be? Will McVay still be there? Offensive line is not all that young either.
Yeah.
Higbee's not a young tight end.
hmm
He's not old either. But do you know what I'm saying? So I could be
Agreed.
convinced to move this team down. But where do you currently stand with them? They're actually at the end of my A tier.
Yeah.
But
I actually have him in the B tier.
okay,
And for everything you just said, and above, what's going to happen with Matthew Stafford? What's happening? I mean, all these guys are 28 plus. Matthew Stafford, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp. I think the only young person on this team is probably this rookie class that they just drafted. But how many picks did they really have? What, 2, 3 picks in that 2022 class? Even the years before, because I
yeah,
mean, they are just sending every single pick for just
talent. Yeah,
for talent, for
they know
win
they're
now
in this
guys.
window, and at some point they're gonna have to pay for it. So
hmm
I'm not upset about putting them in the B tier. And again, if you're watching this, guys, this is not a who's the best team right now, who's the best offense right
Yeah,
now. Again, 3 to 5 years in the future is a kind of timeline we're looking at here, and looking at untapped potential. I think most of these players have reached their potential.
for
They
sure.
just need to maximize on the window.
hmm
All right, the Cardinals, I also have in the B tier.
Yeah, completely
I
agree.
just feel like I don't think this team has reached its potential just yet. I don't think D Hop is a part of that future. The reason I didn't put them in A is because there's no real young running back I'm excited about here. The offensive
hmm
line is not that young. Hollywood Brown and Kyler is really the reason I feel like they're in the B tier. I think that there is more to this offense when Trey McBride kind of starts to step up. So that's why I had him in the B
Yeah,
tier.
I actually have him in the B tier as well. I think that it's the same. I think
Yeah.
they'll probably invest in a young wide receiver in the next year or two. We got to wait and see what that looks like. And not even the offensive side, but the defensive side, I do believe is young as well. But obviously, this
Yeah.
is all about offense, or I guess
Yeah.
team. But yeah,
All
I
right.
guess that's how I was thinking about it.
Tell me about Falcons. Where you got them? They're an
Oh,
interesting one.
they are
'Cause
interesting
some
one.
nice pieces here. I mean, you
They
got
are.
Kyle Pitts, Drake London.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's where the list ends. I mean, I'm not a big Ritter guy, but I know you are. So where
I
do you
am.
kind of sit on this offense? Where are you placing them right now?
Yeah, for me, if I'm looking down, that's because I'm looking at my iPad, guys. All right, so
Yeah.
I'm not being rude, but I do have him in the A tier. I'm really excited about this team. I'm excited to see
Wow.
what's going to happen. I think they are 1 or 2 pieces away for the future. I think Kyle Pitts, Drake London.
Okay.
I am a believer in Desmond Ritter. All they need is either they can go for a quarterback, in 2023, but I do believe they'll probably go with that younger talent in the running back room. And once again, the other side of the
Okay.
ball is still pretty
We
talented.
can't look at the other side of the ball here.
I know.
We're only looking at offense.
I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. But I like what they have here and what's happening.
Okay.
With the Falcons.
So I have them in my C tier because again, I really do like the pieces, but I only still when I look at this offense, there's only 2 pieces I like.
Right.
And I'm not even a big Drake London guy. So there's only really one piece I'm in love with here, and that's Kyle Pitts.
Right.
What can Kyle Pitts do? I don't think the offensive line is all that young. It's not really showing a lot of promise. Running back room is weak. And I don't believe in Ritter. So that's where I'm kind of stuck in the middle here. So if you have them A, I have them C. I have them about at the top of my C tier. I'm happy to meet you at B.
Yep.
And let's put them kind of towards the back end here for now, and we'll talk about this.
Okay.
Baltimore Ravens. Are you cool with that, by the way?
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Baltimore Ravens, I have them in the A tier.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson's a young, I know he's a mobile quarterback, but he's a young, proven guy, MVP. They have Rashad Bateman, who I don't think has reached anywhere near his potential. I think we're about to see a huge year. Mark Andrews is young. J.K. Dobbins, young, coming back from injury.
Agreed.
So I feel like this is one of the best young cores in the NFL. People are just sleeping on Rashad Bateman, in my opinion. So I put them in the A tier.
Yeah, I have them in the A tier as well. Like you said, such a young team. J.K., Rashad Bateman, really good pieces there for the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm okay. I'm okay with the A tier.
Okay, how about Bills? Where you got the Bills?
Ooh, the Bills are also kind of a bit shaky and iffy, but I actually put them in the A tier as well.
Same. It's just Josh Allen. How much is he worth?
It's exactly. The youth is still there. I'm a believer in James Cook. I'm a believer in Shakira, and I think the only elderly person is Stephon Diggs on this team. At least superstar player that's on this team is Stephon Diggs, elderly and 28 years old. Do they invest in another wide receiver if Shakira is not the guy? Gabriel Davis as well. I'm a Gabriel Davis believer. So I really like the Bills, and I think they can continue to move forward in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, so I kind of tend to agree. I look at Josh Allen as there are some quarterbacks in the NFL who can make average players really good.
Exactly.
And Aaron Rodgers does that really well, and I think Josh Allen is going to be that quarterback. So we've arrived at the Panthers. Now, CMC is not all that young. DJ Moore is going to be 26 soon. He's not old by any means. Outside of that, Robbie Anderson's getting old. Offensive line, you just got Icky, but outside of that, Baker Mayfield's there. I have them at the very end of my C tier. I don't know where you stand, though.
It's really close. For me, they're the very first team in my F tier.
Okay.
It's really tough. And like everything you said, there's no young pieces on this team outside of DJ Moore. They just got Baker Mayfield. Sam Darnold is there. They have Matt Corral. What's going to happen? I think there's no way he probably sees the field maybe he sees the field in the next 2 to 3 years. Hypothetically, maybe they miss a game where they don't get a quarterback.
Right? I mean,
we don't know. But
we never would have put money down on Cam Newton starting last year.
No.
All right, I'm happy to meet you there at the beginning of the F tier because they're at the end of my C tier.
Yeah.
See, I'm making early negotiations and meeting you. Maybe later I get to
we can
pull
talk
some
about
out of the bag. Let's see.
We can talk about it.
All right, Chicago Bears are here, and while I love Justin Fields. Outside of Justin Fields, and Cole Kmet, I still don't see a whole lot of promise. But even with just Justin Fields, Cole Kmet, and Darnell Mooney, I think there's enough there for me to place them at the end of my C tier.
Okay. Oh,
I don't know where you stand, but for me,
C tier. Okay.
But for me, I mean, there's just not. Sure, we can talk about at some point they will add weapons, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the offense as it is currently constructed. So where do you have? I mean, where do you have them above C tier?
I actually have them in the C tier. I have them in the beginning of C tier. The same things you said. I really believe in these guys. I'm a Justin Fields believer. I'm a Mooney believer. I am a massive believer in Cole Kmet. And I love Monty as well. I think 25 years old or 24 years old. I think he can probably get a 2-year contract extension. And then
can I be honest about that? I don't see Monty coming back.
Yeah, you don't like him. Yeah, not that you don't
like
Monty.
It's not that I don't like him. No, when I look at this team and what they're currently doing, just from an infrastructure, from a team building perspective, I don't know if it makes sense to bring back an aging running back for them. But let's see. But I'm happy to put them at C. We'll talk about where they end up.
Yeah.
Now we've come to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals. Oh,
This is an S tier team for me.
okay.
You look at Joe Burrow
Mm-hmm.
in his second year, was it, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, second year.
Led the team to the Super Bowl. Jamar Chase just won Offensive Rookie of the Year, set records for rookie wide receivers after Justin Jefferson just did it. Said, you know what, teammate? I saw you do it. Let me do it one better. Then you got T. Higgins there. You got Joe Mixon in the backfield.
Money bags. Woo.
This feels like, obviously, tight end, like you would want a young tight end. But to me, I think this is the best young offensive team in the NFL. You guys obviously can comment down below. Let me know if you think I'm crazy, and we're always open to other people's opinions, but this is my opinion. I'm able to share it. So I think they are the best young team in the NFL, especially with the way that the NFL is going towards continually pass happy.
Yeah.
So I have them in S tier.
Yeah. And this is the team that I have in S tier as well. Completely agree. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Such a young player.
Well, we got so many teams to go through.
Yeah.
So Browns, this is going to be interesting. Where do you have them?
This one was tough for me because I still believe in the talent and in Njoku and Chubb, but I actually have them at the end of my C tier. I really was going back and forth of C and F for me.
Wow. Okay.
Once again, I believe in the talent. I believe in what can happen. I just don't know Jacoby Brissett is going to once again lead this team to any wins. So I think
so. The hard part where I am right now is we're not talking about anything ethically here.
Yeah.
But when I look at the Browns, you have Deshaun Watson, who's 26 years old, had 100 touchdowns in the last 3 years. Okay. That is someone, again, who made Will Fuller a wide receiver 1. If we're talking about quarterbacks who can elevate players from being average to good or good to elite, that is Deshaun Watson.
For sure.
So when I look at the Bills and I look at the Browns, I understand Josh Allen's done it more recently, but I feel like there's not all that big of a difference between their position groups here. Just the Browns have better solidified running backs. I don't think Dawson Knox, personally, I know that he's put up better stats, but I don't think he's all that better of a tight end than Njoku. Diggs isn't younger than Amari Cooper, So when I look at this Browns team, I have them personally at the middle of my B tier.
Okay.
So what I'm happy to do is, because we've been meeting half and half. Again, Watson, this is someone who can elevate a team. I'm happy to put the Browns.
Yeah, I think the reason why I didn't have Watson, or I didn't have the Browns in the B tier was because if Watson's not there, this team, in my eyes, is just they're not bad.
I feel like I've settled that Watson will be there though.
Yeah,
he's going to be there.
We just gotta wait and see, but for sure. Yeah,
okay. I'm happy to meet you at the beginning.
Let's put him in the B tier, like you said, and then we can continue to see where if we have to move them.
Just for the sake of the video, I think we need to do a couple quick fires because we only have a limited amount of time to record.
Sure, let's go for it.
And we're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams in. Okay, Cowboys. I have them in the middle of my B tier. You have them.
I have them in the B tier as well.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and put them, let's say here. Again, Zeke is aging. CD is there. The wide receiver core looks young. Dak is aging as well. He's not all that old, but I just think that there needs to be some youth in this room. Broncos, where do you have them? Tell me in 10 seconds or less.
10 seconds or less. I have them in the A tier.
Okay. I have them middle of B tier.
Okay. I'm okay with Russell Wilson. I'm okay with Jerry Jeudy. Young Javonte Williams. Cortland Sutton is only 26 years old, coming off the ACL. I understand, but you now have Albert Ayoke, 25 years old, if I'm not mistaken, even though we haven't really seen much of him.
Greg Dulcich.
Yeah, Greg Dulcich. So I like the Broncos in the A tier.
I'm going to meet you there, and we're going to keep meeting each other. I'm going to probably at some point have a chance to redeem that.
Okay.
My only issue with Broncos is just I don't know how long Russell Wilson is going to play at this level. But you're right. To be fair, the wide receiver core is young, and there is a lot of untapped talent there. Javonte Williams, young, untapped talent, tight end room, young. Okay, the Detroit Lions. I have this team in the A tier. Okay, I have the Lions at the end of my A tier in 10 seconds or less. If you put Tom Brady on this team, what do they do? With the young offensive line that they have, which is top 10 in the NFL, DeAndre Swift in the backfield, TJ Hawkinson is young, You got Amon-Ra, and then you also have Jameson Williams, both young players that just drafted back-to-back.
Yeah.
This is an elite quarterback away from a real playoff run.
Agreed.
So to me, I think that they are one of the most untapped teams as far as potential goes. Now, will they reach that potential? We don't know, but I'm saying they could be a really elite offense in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the Lions here. I also have them in the A tier.
Okay.
I love Amon-Ra.
Cool. Now, this is going to be controversial. I got the Packers in the F tier. After Aaron Rodgers,
You got the Packers in the F tier.
what do we? I mean, I like Jordan Love, but that doesn't mean he's going to develop.
Yeah, I hear you.
Robert Tonyan's not this elite guy. I feel like he's reached his potential personally. Aaron Jones is getting older. This team is not going to look all that good in 4 to 5 years, I don't think.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I have him in the seats here. I'm still a believer in Jordan Love. We haven't seen much of him.
Same.
And I like Christian Watson and AJ Dillon if they do move forward from Aaron Jones. So I had him at the end of my C tier, but I can understand why you would have him in the F tier.
How about we meet in the middle and we'll say beginning of F?
Sure.
And by the way, I mean, I just so everyone out there understands, I've been advocating for Jordan Love, I think, more than anyone else in the Dynasty community.
Sure.
So, Texans, I have them. They're actually my last ranked team.
The last ranked team. Okay.
I know Mills is there, but I don't believe in Dameon Pierce. Brandon Cooks is getting older. Yeah. Mechie is an okay wide receiver, but I mean, this team doesn't excite me about the future all that much. I like Brevin.
Yeah, there's young pieces there that really, at least for me, Brevin, Nico, I like Dameon for me. I actually still have him in my F tier. They are one quarterback away from switching this team around, but I did have him in the middle of the pack of my F tier.
Okay, I'm happy to put them above the Panthers when I think about the untapped potential.
It's not really the middle of the pack. It's actually, this is how the order is. It was Texans, Panthers, so it's not middle of the pack.
Okay, so we got the Colts here. I have them kind of pretty high in my B tier. I actually have them right above the Cowboys. I would put them here. You know, it's still a good young offensive line. I think we can't underrate Quentin Nelson, who has reached his potential, but he's still so young. One of the best guards in the NFL. I know Matt Ryan is not young, but you got Michael Pittman, who's young. You just brought in Jelani Woods, Alec Pierce, Jonathan Taylor. So I have them towards the beginning of the B tier. I don't know where you... I think maybe I should actually have them ahead of the Cardinals.
I actually have them ahead of the Falcons. Okay. That was my sweet spot for them. Like you said, very young, talented team, young, talented tight ends. JT is there. I mean, it's just, there's talent all around. They just need that quarterback.
All right, Jags, this is going to be controversial. I'd have them in the B tier. I love Trevor Lawrence. I like what they did this offseason.
Yep.
Now, speaking of untapped potential, it's just Trevor Lawrence, really. I think Kirk reached his potential last year. I think he can continue to do that. But also, Travis Etienne is a huge part of this as well. So when I look at the combo of Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, what they did this offseason, Doug Peterson, I think there's massive untapped potential here. So I put them at the end of my B tier.
Yeah, I actually have them in. They're literally my first team in my C tier. Because of the untapped potential. I love Travis. I love Trevor. I personally think that's all that's on the team. Excuse me. So it's a good duo, and that's why I had him in the beginning of the C tier.
I'm going to go ahead and kind of pull one of my cards here and try and keep him in the B tier. So we can kind of meet halfway here. For me, I mean, Evan Ingram, I don't think is, like, when you look at the tight end position, he's not actually an old tight end. He's stepping into a big role. Trevor Lawrence, don't forget, guys, we called him a generational prospect last year before the draft. Was probably the most mismanaged rookie season for a rookie quarterback I can think of in the last decade. I mean, point to another quarterback that was more mismanaged. Now you have what I keep saying is one of the most underrated moves of the offseason, which is Doug Peterson stepping in. He was able to see Carson Wentz and basically turn him into an MVP quarterback before that injury. I don't think we can underrate Etienne coming back and what Trevor Lawrence could do under an actual coaching staff. So I'm going to advocate for them in the B tier if that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah, we can definitely talk about it.
Chiefs.
Los Chiefs. I have him out of respect, in my opinion, in the A tier. I have Patrick Mahomes, Sky Moore, Juju Smith if he does re-sign. I think, and then Travis Kelce is older, but I mean there's some good young talent there. That's like a Noah Gray, and the running back room is a little bit questionable. But I think no matter who comes in, Patrick Mahomes will make fantasy relevant.
Yeah, totally. I look at the Bills and the Chiefs kind of similarly here. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, these are quarterbacks that can elevate. young talent.
Agreed.
I also have the Chargers. I actually have them one spot ahead of the Chiefs. Justin Herbert, I think there's still more potential he hasn't reached just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I would actually argue that maybe they're older in their positional groups, and the running back,
100%.
wide receivers, and the Chiefs at this time.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I think you can kind of meet in the middle there. So,
Agreed.
Dolphins. Where do you sit with the Dolphins?
Los Dolphins. I actually have them in the B tier as well.
Okay.
Once again,
I have them at the end.
Yeah, I'm at the end. Okay, I have them in the B tier. I have them just above the Cowboys for me. It's a little bit jumbled up because yours looks a little bit different. But yeah,
why don't we meet halfway in the middle?
So obviously Tua, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, and then who the hell are the running backs? We have no idea, but somebody's gonna get the workload there. So I like Tua and what's gonna happen with this Dolphins. So
totally. And to be clear, if this list was based off of looking at offenses right now, I think I would have them higher. I look at Tyreek. I don't think he's a young asset. It's really just Waddle and Tua. When I look at this team at young elite assets, and we can't really call Tua an elite asset. But all right, Vikings. This might be controversial. I have them in my C tier.
Okay, I agree. I'm right there with you. I have
it's only Justin Jefferson. When we look at youth,
it is only
Irv
Justin
Smith.
Exactly, Justin Jefferson, Irv Smith, Dalvin Cook. I believe in the talent that's there right now. Is this talent going to be there in the long haul? I mean, we're already talking about Thielen walking. Dalvin Cook already had his second contract. Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins just got an extension for another year or two. The expectation that these guys are going to be in shambles potentially in a couple years. So I actually have him in the C tier as well. It's just Justin Jefferson that's going to hold it down, hopefully.
Yeah. Can the next quarterback do what Kirk's doing? And that's the question. And I feel like we can all agree, if you hate where we're putting the Vikings, let me ask you this and comment down below. Do you agree that Kirk has reached his potential?
Oh boy.
I don't think that there is untapped potential in Kirk Cousins at this point. All right. We have the Patriots. And yes, Mac Jones is there. No one else excites me about the future. No one else. I like Tyquan, but he's really a shot in the dark at this point. I actually have them in the C tier as well.
Yep. I'm right there with you. Have them in the C tier.
Saints. Where you got the Saints?
Los Saints. It's the same thing. Same thing. I have them in the C tier as well.
Cool.
Only Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara coming off 26, 27 years old. Michael Thomas. GG's to MT.
Yeah.
Miss you, man.
Yes. And Jameis. This is the big question here.
True.
Is there untapped potential still in Jameis? Because last year we saw game manager Jameis. There's reports that we could see him let loose this year.
True.
Like he was in Tampa Bay, but I think the idea is let's hope that he's learned more in the system to make better decisions. So this team could be B tier. It's really only Olave that I like right there. So Giants.
Los Giants.
I'll say what I think. I have them in the F tier.
Yeah.
Saquon's not a young piece I think I'm excited to build around anymore. Daniel Jones, is there untapped? I don't know the answer there. I know that Wandale and Kadarius Toney are probably the biggest untapped potential guys here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have them in a higher tier than F?
I actually don't have them in the higher tier. I have them in the F tier, but see you in a year or two. That's all I have to say. I agree with you though. I'm a believer in Kadarius Toney. Saquon is probably going to walk after this year. Kenny G is going to walk after a year or two, and it's going to be continue to be rebuilt.
Sure.
I believe in the head coach and the coaching staff there. So, but I do have them in the F tier.
The way I view it is, I also believe in the coaching staff. I just think it needs to be a refresh of talent. So.
Exactly.
Jets. I got the Jets in the B tier right after the Jags.
Yeah, I really wanted to put the Jets in the A tier, but it's not proven yet. It's still in the B tier for me. I actually have them in my second team in the B tier. Sorry, third team in the B tier. I have I'm
happy to kind of meet you here then.
Yeah. So Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, Michael Carter back. I mean, this is
even guys on the offensive line are young.
The whole team is young. This is the youngest team in the NFL. In the next couple of years, we could be talking about the Jets in a very different light. Hopefully, Zach Wilson is the guy. And if not, the talent is all there. Who the hell is going to be the quarterback?
And by the way, just someone's like, how could you put the Lions in the A tier? How could you put the Jets in the B tier? Well, I feel like the Lions have more proven assets right now. We've seen TJ Hawkinson produce in multiple years.
I mean,
we've seen DeAndre Swift. he can be, we know at this point, absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, he can be a top 5 running back in the NFL.
We've seen Jared
Amon-Ra,
Goff.
we saw the stretch. We've seen Jared Goff, and I don't really put him in that category, but
I
think the Jets, they could easily be in the A tier at some point if we see more proven commodities. The Raiders, this is rough. I mean, I have them at the beginning of my C tier.
Right.
Derek Carr, he's only 30, so what will he look like in 3-5 years' time? I don't know, but Devontae Adams, no way he keeps up that same style of play for that long. Waller's not getting any younger. Josh Jacobs isn't an old running back, but so for me, I mean, I couldn't put them above some of these other teams with untapped potential.
I hear
Most
you.
of these players have reached potential. They just need to maximize the window they're in.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I think I had him there with my very last team in my B tier.
Okay.
I think Devontae Adams, Derek Carr is just still massive for me.
Sure.
That's why, especially we're talking about teams.
But will it be in 3 years?
And Devontae Adams said he wanted to be. The reason why he left was because he wanted to have a long career.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I'm happy to meet you there.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles. I actually have the Eagles in the middle of this B tier.
B tier. Yep.
So I kind of have
I'm
them
there with
around
you.
here.
Yeah, I love the team. Believe in Devonta Smith, AJ Brown. If Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith are still there, and Dallas Goddard. Dallas got it. So I'm happy with that.
The funny thing for me is I actually love this team except for the quarterback. And it's not that I dislike Jalen Hurts. You're gonna say I'm a hater or whatever, but I really think that if a young, really good quarterback can step into this team, it could be special. Steelers. I have the Steelers also in the B tier.
Yeah. A lot of B tier teams.
So I kind of have them right around here.
Agreed.
Niners, I have this team in the A tier.
Yeah, I'm in the A tier. Okay.
And I actually have them right behind the Chiefs. So when I look at this team, you got a young Elijah Mitchell. There's always a new running back coming through there. The offensive line, not young, not too old, but it's a very good offensive line. Trey Lance, in my opinion, has a chance to be a huge breakout this year. A quarterback that we're talking about next year as a top 6 quarterback, potentially top 6 to 7 quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
I view Trey Lance next year. People are having conversations on ESPN. They're saying, who do you want to start your team with? Right now today, you're starting a franchise. Trey Lance, and then they start naming some of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
No, I hear you.
Ayuk is only 2 years in. Debo, Kittle is still young. He's only 27 years old, so I have them in the A tier.
I had them in the B tier. I kind of view them like the Rams.
Okay.
I guess we're crunched for time, but my thought process is that they're a quarterback away from being good and a quarterback away from being bad. And if once he's proven, then we can put him in that tier with the rest of the people. The talent there is proven. I'm
gonna pull my card here and just ask for us to put him at the end of the A tier.
Sure. Let's go.
We have less than 2 minutes here before our video stops recording. Seahawks, I have them at the end of C.
End of C. I have them in the end of C as well, like DK.
Titans, I have them in the F.
I have them in the F as well. I'm there with you.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough, but I mean, really outside of Treylon, no one is young that I'm excited about. I have the Bucks in the F tier.
I have the Bucks
after
in the
Brady.
F tier as well.
What in the world are we going to look like here? And Washington, the last team, I have them in the C tier.
Agreed.
I kind of have them right around where the Saints are. I see untapped potential in Jahan Dotson, in Terry, really, if he can get a better quarterback, and Antonio Gibson. So it's just don't know what the quarterback's going to be.
It's a good list.
It's a good list. Yeah.
Decent list.
Is there any, okay, so we have literally 10 seconds each. Make a case for one team that you want to move up. Go.
Move up. I would just say Jets. Let's take a swing at it. Let's be really confident. It's the new Jets, baby.
Okay. All right. And I get 10 seconds to make a case for a team. Yeah, this is harder when you take a step back and look at it. I'm gonna make a case for the Browns. Again, elite quarterback. I think he makes teams better. So I'm happy to put him there.
Okay.
All right. We don't have any more time left because our videos are going to stop recording. But let us know in the comments below what you think about this. There's going to be a lot of controversy, I imagine. That's okay. Comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLandFam.